Hello everyone, Darkgeyser here, welcoming you to episode 10 of my Space Engineers Survival Battlecruiser build series. I wanted to do yet another thank you to all of my loyal fans and my subscribers. Last episode we cleared 50 subscriptions and I was very, very grateful. This episode we've managed to clear 60 subscriptions, and I want to thank all of you for your loyalty and your patronage. Having you guys send me the positive feedback and send me the comments and subscriptions and so on and so forth encourages me to work on this project more. I also wanted to do a shout out to the modding community. I have a long list of mods, and I will finally have all of those mods listed in my comments section this episode. I know I've been promising to do that, and I've been very bad, and I haven't done it. I also have the link to the website that I'm getting most of my motivation from with regards to the pictures for the Battlecruiser. These are the pictures that I'm using to try to make things as accurate, or if not accurate, at least as attractive and aesthetically pleasing as possible. But I wanted to definitely thank the modding community. Without all of the modders giving us all of their hard work and giving us all of their wonderful creativity, I think we all agree that Space Engineers would not be anywhere near as enjoyable. So those of you, my subscriptions, and even the people that just watch that are not subscribers, please follow the links. Go to the modders sites. Even if you don't use their mods for whatever reason, go ahead. If you like their mod, give them a thumbs up, please. Now, I wanted to get back into things and show you what I had done. I have been very, very busy since my last episode, and we're coming up to a very exciting phase of the project. Last episode, I started to talk about the idea of moving my production platform to the ship, and I just decided to go ahead and do that. As you can see over there, my production platform is gone. I have completely cut that away and moved it over to the ship. So I have all of my refineries, all of my production. I have a huge section down here for storage and so forth. I have all of this laid out. You can see these are light armor blocks. You can see the transition from heavy to light armor blocks here. And I slapped this down. It's relatively quick and dirty. You can see also that my conveyors, nothing is colored in. I left everything a very bland battleship gray so that when it comes time to cut all of this away, it's going to be very easy to tell what is what's supposed to stay and what isn't. As you can see, I have also expanded my solar array, and again, this is all set up in such a way that when the time comes, I can easily shear this away and then grind it all up and reuse the components. I have started to install some of the other thrusters, and the placement on these is not, I don't know if this is permanent or not. This is in roughly the location where they should be, but I wanted to wait until I was a little bit further along in the outside skin before I put these in. But I'm going to be converting the station to a ship soon, and I have to be able to have braking thrusters on it in order to stop. As you can see, I'm not quite done with all of the mounting brackets. I wanted to get all of those in before the episode, but I started to run out of time, and to be perfectly honest, I started running out of steel plate again. I have welded up the entire underside on the starboard wing, and I'm very happy with myself there. You can see my carpet welder is on the HUD under there. I left that parked under there last night when I finished. I have also started putting in my proper engine rooms. I built one series of reactors. These are using the XPAR modular energy system, and that's another modder that I particularly wanted to give a shout out to. XPAR, you do really great work, and these look much, much prettier than just the vanilla large reactors. Oh, and I missed something going in. There's another section missing there. Gonna have to go back and fix that. Let me see if I have that. Got that there. Reactor upgrade. That's the thing I'm looking for right there. Okay. And of course, it all has to match, so it has to be blue. So I wanted to put that in there. Have to come back and weld these up later. I don't have the parts for these. Get over there. Okay, there we go. Wanted to put those in before I forgot. Those are power upgrades that make the regular wedge shape reactors a bit more efficient. I also have battery systems. XPAR's mod for this is very, very nice. It's nice to look at, and it's not overpowered. And he incorporates not only power boosters that make the reactors a little bit more efficient and a little bit more effective, but he also incorporates batteries into the system, and they all look just gorgeous. And as you can see, they fit right in. Everything's going to be wonderful. I've started laying these out, so I have a better idea of how big my engine room is going to have to be. I should say engine rooms plural. I sat down and I figured out how much power I'm going to need to drive the ship. And at the moment, with the Leviathan engines and all of the Titan engines that I have, I'm going to need something close to 90 gigawatts of power. My rough calculation is 86,000 and some odd change megawatts. So I'm probably going to shoot for 90 gigawatts of power. And in order to get that, I'm going to need close to 30 of these stacks of reactors. And each of these stacks has, we've got 4 per layer, that's 16. So each of these has got 16 reactors in it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to incorporate ladders and stairs and so forth into this so that you can actually get around and weld everything. I was doing all of this with a jetpack. I've got my gravity generator shut off, make things a little bit easier. Another mod that I'm trying is, who is the modder who did this? The compound armored slabs. This is War Bros. This is the War Brothers, and I do apologize in advance if you're a modder and I mispronounce your name. I'm really, really sorry, but some of you have some interesting names, to say the least, with regards to spelling and pronunciation. So I do apologize. The link is down below, so the link will get you there. But if I mispronounce your name, I'm really sorry. This is the compound armor slab pack from the War Bros. And what this is a combination of armor slabs. There are several of them in the pack, as you can see, where you have several blocks that are all fastened together. The build requirements are all the same. So building a 10 by 10 block of these is going to cost 10 times as much as a traditional armor block. So you're not getting anything for free. The biggest difference is the fact that this one block will only count as one block with regards to your system having to keep track of damage and block placement. So one of these takes up 1% of the cycle time on your system. So what I'm going to try to do, and if any of you have worked with this mod and if you've had any particular issues with it, then please let me know before I get my ship built out of these goddamn things and I find out they don't work right. Or if anyone has incorporated these into a large project and you find out that they work particularly well, I'd like to know that too. But what I'm hoping to do is the top layer of my utility space. I'm not going to go through and grind out all of this stuff that I have underneath here. I've already incorporated some of these in the underside of the deck, but most of it by far is just regular block. But I'm going to incorporate these into the top layer of my utility space to try to cut down on the block count, to try to cut down on the lag. I've already noticed that the lag is starting to become troublesome, and the project is only about 10 or 15% done. So before I am forced to quit the whole thing due to lag issues, I want to try to cut down on my lag. I want to try to cut down on the cycles required. So if anyone has worked with these, then please let me know. I'm going to try to incorporate some of these into the system. I'm going to be leaving gaps in between, so it'll be easier to run stairwells and ladders and so on and so forth. Also, because according to the modder, these things deform appropriately, which means that once you inflict a certain amount of damage on them, then the block starts to deform. I'm going to be leaving either empty spaces around the edges, or I'm going to be putting in more traditional blocks around the edges to absorb the block being radically deformed, because I don't know if this thing is going to deform all to hell and gone when it starts taking damage, and I don't want it to start totaling out all of the blocks around it. I am planning on leaving dead air space in between the inner and outer walls, between the thruster and the engine room. Again, this is just for safety's sake. I'm going to have this one column here to support my gravity generator, and then this is the actual wall. This is going to be the actual wall of the engine room. And of course, I had to leave empty space around everything so that I could move around and weld everything, and everything has to be role play appropriate and real life appropriate, and so on and so forth. So we've got that going on. I had a friend of mine join me briefly to give me some tips on how to build things, and when he spawned in, he was about 20,000 kilometers away. So he showed up in a respawn ship, and so he kind of coasted in. He felt guilty that he was actually bringing free resources into my map. And I said, for all of the resources I'm going to be using, I don't think one respawn ship is going to make any of my viewers upset or have anyone call shenanigans on anything that I'm doing. I also wanted to show you the other thing that I have done, because again, I'm going to have to be harvesting resources at an unheard of level. So I cut up my mining ship completely. I completely cut that apart. I've stored all of the components except for what I used to build the drill head. I have the largest drill head that I have ever seen on any ship. It's over 900 drills. It's 7 drills high, which is just high enough to protect the front end of the ship. And of course, I will not be able to use this to go all the way through because it will start snapping off my gravity generators. So, but I will be able to go about 15 or 20 blocks into an asteroid before I have to worry about backing out and then relocating. But this should be able to easily devour any asteroid I come across. I've never run across anything that's any wider than this, at least not yet. But I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be attempting to move the project. I'm going to be converting it on my next episode. My next episode, I'm going to be converting the entire thing into a ship. God help us all. The Titan engines that you see here, these are 2 of the 4 braking engines. The other 2 go up front, and if you take a look at the pictures, then you will be able to see the other 2 Titan engines go up front just underneath the Yamato cannon. But because I have the drills up front and I have thruster damage turned on, of course I'm not going to be able to put those up there until the drills are gone. But I had to have some form of braking thrusters. I already have the gyroscopes in. I'm going to have to build a tremendous amount of these reactors in order to have enough power to actually power the thing, in order to just get one Leviathan engine lit up. I think I should be able to move the ship with one. The Leviathan engines produce a ridiculous amount of thrust, and I'm a little concerned on whether or not I'm going to be able to stop. The Titan engines provide a tremendous amount of thrust, but relative to the size of the project, I'm a little concerned. I'm going to put in enough lateral thrusters to prevent me from skating around side to side and up and down. I want to make sure that I cover all 3 of my axes, but I don't plan on actually doing a lot of thrust in any other direction other than just forward and stopping, at least not at first. I need to find out what the mass of the project is, and until I convert it to a ship, I can't possibly know that. Once I get an idea of the mass of the project, then I can get an idea of how much thrust I can anticipate having to use. What I plan on doing is actually, what I want to do is I want to copy and paste a copy of the ship, or possibly use just an earlier save. And in creative mode, I want to go ahead and drop on a couple of thrusters, and I want to get a I want to basically do a speed test and a movement test. And I want to get an idea of how much thrust I'm going to need. Basically, I'm going to run a simulation of how much thrust I'm going to need to move the thing, whether or not I have a sufficient number of gyroscopes, how much power I'm going to need, etc., etc. And I will probably post that video just to give you all an idea of what kind of progress I'm going to need, how much power I'm going to need, and so forth. And with any luck, I'll be able to have the thing done between now and Christmas. That would be a nice Christmas present if I actually have the thing done and I can make it work and make it fly by Christmas and actually have it as an effective, finished project. Like I said, God help us all. So that's all we have for today. Let me go back to my cryo chamber before I run out of oxygen and die. That would be a terrible way to end the video. I wanted to thank everyone again. As I said, I want to thank all my loyal fans. 60 subscribers! Woo! And when I get to the point, better believe, when I get to the point where I have 100 subscribers, I'm going to be having a party. Another thing I wanted to mention to all of my viewers, I need help with a name for the ship. Bellerophon is too easy. It's one of the names of one of the battlecruisers from StarCraft, and it's too easy. I want to do something meaningful, but I want to do something that's going to at least require a little bit of thought. I'll take the top 5, what I consider to be the top 5 names. I'll go ahead and I'll put a poll, and we'll go ahead and we'll let democracy rule, and I'll give everybody a vote, and we'll as a community we'll decide what we're going to call the ship. As always, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your loyalty, and thank you very much for following. Likes are always appreciated, subscriptions doubly so. This has been Darkizer. Have a good night.